You need to start a garden. You're living in a house. What are you doing?
I'm
You
renting
need
this house. Well, okay, let me rephrase that. Mountain Man this
I
house.
I'm like, "That's not even an excuse because I'm renting this apartment." But yet I have a full-blown garden. Have you seen my garden on Instagram?
Yes, I have. I love
Yes,
it.
okay.
I'm
So
super jealous. But things die in this house. It's the most fucked up thing. He had this jade vine plant,
Mhm,
absolutely beautiful. And then he had these giant succulents and everything.
mhm.
As soon as he moved them into the house, they all fucking died.
They
They
were
all
under
fucking
shock.
died.
Was there any green on them at all?
They were fully green.
Okay, yeah, they just went into shock. They weren't dead, so he threw those away for nothing. If there is green, there's something to work with. Plants go into shock when you literally move them. Even if they're in the
Hmm.
same state, they go into
Hmm.
shock. And so if there is green, there's still something to work with. You
Hmm.
can nurse it back to health. And so you can do it. You can have a garden too.
Yeah, I want a garden. I want to grow rosemary and basil and mint. I
Yes.
mean, maybe not mint. Mint requires a lot of attention that I my
I just
ADHD ass does not have.
Honestly, that's why I put all my stuff outside is because I said at the beginning of this whole season, doing plants and stuff when it got warm, I was like, okay, I'm not going to do any indoor plants that need a lot of watering and attention because I just don't have the bandwidth for that right now.
Hmm.
And so inevitably, I did the opposite and I ended up buying stuff that needs attention. So I just put it all outside. All I ask is that I realize that since I started gardening, I've become such a crotchety old woman because I saw a child's footprint in my garden and I was ready to have a conniption. These these freaking kids, stay out of my yard.
Oh my god, don't do that.
I put work into that garden. I tilled that soil. That soil
Hmm.
was literally cracking from how condensed and hard it was. I took a Dollar General hand rake and raked that garden. I was sweating. Me and my ancestors came together in that moment because I plowed and tilled all that dirt and soil
Hmm.
on my own, sweating to high heaven at 8 p.m. and in the evening at night because it was that hot and I was putting in that much work. And I put in all kinds of seedlings. A lot of the seedlings are sprouting now, but I
Oh.
put in lots of yarrow in the
Hmm.
ground and tulsi, holly, basil. Basically, I have a witch's garden.
One, two, three, four.
Welcome to Half-Ass Witchery, where we talk all things cancer and then stop because gardening's more fun.
Gardening is definitely more fun. And I will say that I will do my best to not be biased. I will say cancer women, I love the cancer women in my family. Cancer men, even the ones in my
Don't
family can go fuck
listen,
off.
listen, listen. Not gonna even pretend, but yes,
Yeah.
there is somebody
Is
in my freezer right now that's
is
a
it a
can.
yes. Cancer men, what is wrong with you? Call us now. Tell us exactly what is wrong with you.
Don't do that. Don't do that.
The cancer women, I will say, I think cancer in itself is a hard energy to work with because it is
Yes.
so changeable. And so I think with even the women in my family, I had to learn to appreciate what they were bringing to the table. But
Mhm.
cancer men, I just can't. I'm
Mhm.
looking so hard for what they bring to the table, and all they have brought me is tears, drama, and fear. Because I
Yeah.
literally had a cancer ex of mine call me a psycho ex-girlfriend when I said that I didn't wanna be friends, and I
Mhm.
didn't wanna fuck either.
They're fucked up. They're just beyond fucked
This
up.
Yes, this man called me. He called on 2 different numbers. I blocked those 2 numbers, and then he called me blocked, so I'm assuming he used a 3rd number. And then the one cancer ex that you know about, I'll use a synonym if he
Oh
ever
no,
hears it,
he is.
Quasimodo, fuck
Mhm.
you. Yes. Yes, you can
Yeah, make
go
that a
fuck
little more
yourself.
obvious. He is listening. Fucking yeah, fuck you. Fuck you. I hope you're watching too because I'm doing this, motherfucker. Mhm.
Okay, so all y'all, I started a new job. I'm almost done with training as a server. And honestly, anybody that says being a server, that's what you're proud of, you can go fuck yourself too. Because being a server has been one of the funnest jobs I've ever had. One, I love the fact that I go home with some sort of money in my hand. I love that kind of instant gratification. I
Mhm.
love that.
First of all, somebody has to fucking do the job, and it ain't gonna be your bougie ass. So shut the fuck up. Seriously, shut the fuck up. Second, the fact that you go home with money every night. You don't have to wait till payday to get gas, get groceries.
That's why
You're
I'm not even
good.
stressing. I'm behind on some bills right now because I just got this job. Tell me why I'm not even stressing because I am working Saturday. I am working Friday, which is Father's Day,
Oh,
my
them
own.
tips.
So I already know. I'm like the bills that I'm behind on, easy, easily paid by Monday.
Oh shit! It is Father's Day. I gotta do something.
My stepdad will probably never hear this, but if he does, who knows? Fuck you. My actual dad, it's not so much a fuck you, it's just I'm disappointed. I thought that she would be more fun, but more fun in the positive way. For anybody that doesn't know, my father, when I was conceived, was literally a stripper.
What?
My biological dad was a stripper in the 90s, and that's how he and my mom met, and his name was Magnum something. So it's not a fuck you, but it is I'm disappointed in you. You could have been great. And so
God
he was not
damn ya.
living up to his full Capricorn that he could have been.
I hope he is listening to this because, yeah, disappointed. We're all
Disappointed.
disappointed in you, sir. But damn, because my mom dated a Mr. Universe. And I'm like,
Ooh, I
the
like that.
fuck?
It's a stripper
That
name?
no, it was an actual Mr. Universe.
Oh,
Arnold Schwarzenegger type of deal.
okay.
I'm like,
I feel like
Mom, does dad know? I mean, if my dad is listening, he knows now. She's like, no, why would I tell him that? To rub it in his face? That's funny.
oh my
Every time
god.
he calls you a bitch, you just be like, you know what? I wouldn't have gotten this from my Mr. Universe husband.
Mr. Universe would have never.
You would have never.
Oh my god. But yeah, with all of this, especially starting out this episode with a fuck you to all cancers, I did want to talk about a little something because not everybody knows every artist, but there is an artist. I want to put a little spotlight on a Gemini artist. We're taping this during Gemini season, and her name is Jessie Reyes. She is Colombian, I do believe, and she is a Colombian Canadian artist. And oh my God, I I am in love with this woman because she just put out an album called A Little Vengeance, and she's been doing interviews on the album. The album is fire, first of all. Every song on the
Mhm.
album was speaking to my soul, speaking to my Piscean soul, just like every song of hers has before this album. But she has been doing press for the album, and people have been asking her where she got that title from for her album, A Little Vengeance. And she said that it came from a book where the full quote is essentially a little vengeance is more human than no vengeance at all. It doesn't mean that vengeance always has to have malice behind it, but it is, it can be a situation where vengeance is simply just, yes. Isn't she
Yeah.
beautiful? Oh my God.
She looks yeah, she's really beautiful, and you can tell she's Colombian. It's, like,
Yeah.
all up in those eyebrows.
Yeah. Yes, I absolutely love Jessie Reyes. I would probably just about melt in my clothes and just be a puddle on the floor if I ever met her in person. And that says a lot because I don't fangirl over anybody, but my God, is this woman beautiful? And her voice is just her music. And so I
Mm.
would be in full blown gay panic if I ever met her in person.
Still working on that, are we?
Yes.
We're still
I'll
working
never
on your
get
gay
over
panic,
it.
okay.
I'll never get over it because look at women. Look at women.
Yeah.
But yeah, so she says that And that also really hit because I'm like, yes, when we are living in a world that is for your higher self and, don't go after vengeance or whatever, you don't need to do all that. First of all, I always think that that is so fake.
Bullshit.
Yeah, because I'm like, you're telling me after somebody hurt you. And Jesse said in these interviews, vengeance doesn't always have to mean malice. It can just mean somebody was taking advantage of you when you were at your most open and your most vulnerable. And then you learn to actually have boundaries and you basically start looking out for yourself and have those
Mhm.
boundaries. And that is your vengeance to them, is that they're cut off from your energy.
Yeah. I mean, vengeance does not always have to be cursing, and
Hmm.
vengeance can be you fuck up a motherfucker.
Let me tie this in with everything we're talking about. The fuck you to cancers. Obviously, I don't know every single cancer on this earth, but
But
I
we
will
can assume
say
safely after the small pool that we've studied.
but I will say that that is a very human thing is, yeah, after you have experienced the same kind of people for a certain amount of time, that's what you feel. And to
Mhm.
say that you are continuously open to the same kinds of people is not it's not real. It's not human because it goes against every instinct of human nature. If you experience the same thing from the same kind of person over and over and over again, and I don't care if you don't believe in astrology. Let's say that you have met the same kind of person with the same kind of personality. Then you are going to become more closed off to that energy. And because you learned that that kind
Yeah.
of energy and that kind of personality hurts you. And so, what is vengeance but just wanting to subconsciously or consciously make someone hurt the same way that you hurt? And the best kind of vengeance, I think, is coming from when that is happening, but the higher part of it is more focused on you because you're asking, what makes me feel good? And that comes back to I'm protecting myself and building those boundaries. It always frustrates me so much when people that are in that whole toxic positivity thing or are overcompensating
Mm.
for wanting to be a good person. They're saying, oh, because it's giving very much you haven't dissected any sort of religious trauma, because that sounds very Christian to me, is to, if someone slaps you, turn the other cheek. No, if someone slaps you, you pounce
Slap
on
him
that bitch.
back!
You
The fuck
pounce
is
on
wrong
that
with
bitch. Yes, because I'm like, is that not just a boundary? You pounce on that bitch after they slapped you so that they know to never slap you again, or if they ever do think of doing it again, that they know that they have consequences coming for them.
Mhm.
That ain't shit sweet over here. And I feel like that is such a real human thing. And to deny that part of you, I think, is stunting your growth as a human being
I
because you're
think
not
that
being
is.
authentic.
Yeah, because here's the thing, and I'm going to get a little bit into the shadow work realm, which seems to be the flavor of the month for people in the new age community. But by saying, I have forgiven everybody and I forgive this person, and then so that's why it's easy to let them back into my life. And then they continue to do the same shit. You're not doing shadow work, you're doing ignoring work.
Yes. Yes. And you're letting time do the work for you. If you ignore something for long enough, you forget it, essentially. But
Hmm.
that doesn't mean it went away.
Yeah,
And
100%
so,
for sure.
yeah. Because, yeah, one thing I can't stand is when I open up about wanting to be in that human space of this person hurt me and this is how I feel right now and I want to get them back even if I don't do anything about it. It always frustrates me so bad when people are like, "No, no, no. Don't do that."
Let
And I'm
karma
like,
get them. No, no. This is my therapy.
"Yes.
This is my
Yes."
fucking therapy.
Like Jessie Reyez said, she was like, "A little vengeance" for that album. She was like, "I want people to know from that album that it's okay to invite your ugly to the table." I don't understand why people want to, especially in the spiritual community, want to dress up spirituality and a spiritual journey as something that's pretty all the time and so
Hmm.
pristine. It's not. Look at hoodoo, for instance, because that's the first
Look at
example. It embodies both the beautiful white pristine parts, but also some of the most gruesome, muddy, down in the dirt stuff that you could ever think of. And then it ties it together with Bible verses. And so everything has to be in balance. You can't just do this whole positivity thing by itself. That's not helpful at all.
Mhm.
Everything needs a balance. You have in hoodoo people literally picking up roadkill of a snake to use in spells or to use in root work while
Mhm.
wearing white.
Yeah.
Everything needs a
Yeah.
balance.
Everything needs a fucking balance. You're absolutely right.
And it doesn't all
Like,
have to be done at the same time.
no,
Just balance it. You can be vengeful on Tuesday and then be love and light on Thursday. But
but you can't be love
balance.
and light all the time.
Yeah.
I honestly feel like these people who do this love and light shit, they're coming from a place of privilege.
Yes.
They're
Yes.
coming from a place of privilege. They did not get abused. They did not get, or if they got abused and they're able to get away from their abuser.
Mhm.
In most cases, they were never discriminated against.
Yep.
It is a privilege to be woo woo love and light. My soul is just love, and you have a beautiful soul. And I'm like, bitch, no, you have no idea who the fuck I am.
And at
I'm
the
the
end of the
first to
day,
slap you.
yes, because I think also at the end of the day, that love and light thing, that movement, it's avoidance at the end of the day, like
Mhm.
you were saying earlier.
Abso-fucking-lutely.
Because you have those emotions, you're just not comfortable for some reason showing those emotions.
Yeah.
Because even if you are privileged, you're still human. You still get angry at things. It's okay to let your anger out. Guess what? You might find that other people are also angry and that it's okay to embrace their anger because then you find community. Then you guys can be real and actually have real community. But all this fluffy, airy, love and light bullshit is not the move.
No, they need to just, if you want to deny your emotions, do what I do. Just say, "No, I'm not feeling that because I'm not in the mood. That ain't my shit. I'm not going to feel sadness today. I'm just going to feel absolute rage."
I will preface this with saying that there is a difference between saying something truly disturbing and then having a dark sense of humor. And people that know me well know that I am serious, but I'll be okay after I do this. When I
Mhm.
tell you that I'm going to go home and just cry and angry cry in the shower, which sounds disturbing. And I mean, to some it might be, but that's real. That's what I need. I need to turn off all my lights in my bathroom and just howl it out underneath
Mhm.
the shower.
Like the good Capricorn rising that you are.
Yes, away from
in
people, but at
oh,
least I'm
in the dark
expressing
behind
myself.
closed door.
Yes, yes. Because that's the only time for a long time that I could seem to actually let my emotions out was crying in the shower. And so now I make it a joke where I say I just need to go cry in the shower for a little bit. Can I express my emotions outside of the shower? Yes. With help of therapy, I am now able to do that. But there was a time where I was only able to really cry in private. And I will say that even now, I still mostly just cry in private because who needs to know?
It,
Who needs to know
it's
that happened?
comfort.
So, kind of moving on from the toxic positivity that's happening in the spiritual community, I did also want to talk about
Of the religious community.
yes, I know that not everybody grows up in a super religious house, even though I think it's safe to say that most of us grew up in religious houses, especially if you're a person of color or
Mm-hmm.
black, then 80% of us grew up in some sort of religious
Church,
household.
yeah. I mean, church every Sunday, PSR. Both of my
Mhm.
brothers went to Catholic school. I didn't.
What I wanna say, maybe misconception isn't the best word, but I do have questions because I was thinking about this during the week, is what are some of the weirdest ways you saw people practicing religion? Some of the most bizarre ways, because I definitely have a specific example in my mind that even now as an adult, I was like, "That was just weird." Christianity is so weird. And that's not me. I will say I'm not a Jesus hater. I just hate his super fans. His super fans meaning the white nationalist Christians that claim
Mm-hmm.
to Well, in my mind, that's the same thing because super fans are so removed from what being a fan actually is. Because how do you go from being a super fan to
Mhm.
killing the very person that you are fanning over? What sense does that make? And so I always say, I'm not a Jesus or a God hater. I hate his super fans, the ones that are absolutely insane.
Mhm.
And they are so removed from the original message that it's not even recognizable anymore. That's what I mean by super fans.
Yeah. So I can say growing up Catholic, it wasn't much of a jump for me to jump from Catholic to paganism. And then back from paganism into the spirituality that I practice today, which is a mix of, culturally speaking, Christianity and paganism and all of that. I say the rosary still every night. Now I do it in Spanish because I want to feel that connection to my grandmother. But my grandmother was raised by fortune tellers
Mhm.
after her mother died. So for me, the only weird thing about Catholicism that I find is that they straight up deny that everything they do is actually witchcraft.
This is so true. If you have never been to a Catholic church, I've been to a Catholic church once in my life. And actually, no, 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 twice because I
Did you
went
go during Christmas Eve mass? Because that's when you really see it.
I went to mass at because I went to an all-girls school that was Catholic, and I think the second time we were invited by a family friend to go to mass. I don't know till until this day, I don't know why we went. I think it was more a coworker
Mhm.
of one of my parents, and they went just out of politeness. But I've been to a mass, I think, twice, and even then, it was witchy as hell.
The
Okay.
transmutation, the first communion, the
Yes.
transmutation. Yeah.
Yes. Yes. Okay.
Mhm.
But we're not being witchy at all in this church.
No,
Okay.
no. I love the idea that they're going to deny that, oh, we don't practice witchcraft because we're Catholics. Let me baptize your baby and cleanse her of her original sin.
I never saw this, but in one of my favorite books, the that Nikki actually introduced me to a Discovery of Witches. In the third book, there's a baby christening, and they sprinkle holy water. It's a partially Catholic ceremony christening, and they
Mhm.
sprinkle holy water on the babies, I think, and then they put salt in the babies' mouths. I don't know if that's a real part of a christening in Catholicism. Okay.
It's at the 8-week mark, so they're still not eating solid foods.
Mhm.
They wait 8 weeks before they baptize the baby, so it's actually just oil and water.
Oh, okay. Well, because I could believe that it was part of Catholicism because it was supposed to expel demons, any demons. Maybe this was because it was a vampire baby, half vampire baby, half witch baby, that they put salt
Mhm.
in the baby's mouth. Again, witchy. It was not
Witchy as
hard.
fuck. Yeah, it is
Like,
not a jump. It is
it's not a
not
jump.
a
At all, at all. If we're even just looking at Christianity and how that goes, look at communion. Okay, you might not actually be cutting off pieces of a man's body, but what do you mean that this wafer is supposed to be the body of Christ and this grape juice is supposed to be his blood and we're ingesting it every Sunday?
man,
Or not every
Christianity's a bunch of
Sunday.
fucking pussies. They gave me straight up wine and I was 8.
Oh my god. Like, yeah, like, what do you mean? And so I will say when I was growing up, one of the weirdest ways that I think I ever saw Christianity being expressed was by one of like I can't even really call her a childhood friend because her family was so reclusive. I think they might not have been completely Christian. I think they might have been Mormon, maybe, but in my mind, like a more extreme version of Christianity. Like
I
with
It's a
that
cult that lasted.
but it is not all Christianity kind of a cult.
All organized Christianity is a
Yeah.
cult.
I'm
Yeah.
like, because okay, so this is what happened because I speculate they were Mormon because there was
Mhm.
just something very not weird, but their kids were very docile and yeah. But anyway, I remember every Sunday I would go over, or like the first couple Sundays that this happened, I would go over to her house to like because I wanted to play outside. I was done with church, and so I was like, I'm going to play outside, like any kid does.
Mhm.
And someone would come to the door. It would usually be her dad that would come to the door, and they would be in their pajamas, and they would be sleeping. And he was like, "No." she can't come outside right now. We're sleeping because it's Sunday. So were taking it literal. Would sleep all day Sunday.
Seventh day Adventist.
Yes. Maybe, yes. But they would sleep literally all day. Until this day, that is so odd. I assume you get up and eat, but sleeping all day, because you're essentially sleeping for more than 24 hours because you go to bed the night before, sleep all day, and then sleep until you have to get up for work on Monday,
Yeah.
which is weird. Look, I love a good nap.
Oh, fuck yeah.
I love a good nap. Even I couldn't do that. Absolutely not. And you would hear it. Their house, there would be no TVs on. It wasn't like they were watching TV or doing anything to entertain themselves. The house was silent to the point where even I, being outside the house, wanted to whisper because he was whispering and the house was quiet. Like,
That's fucking creepy.
it was weird. Like, and that's the weirdest way I've ever seen any sort of Christianity expressed in my life.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
just odd. Like,
that beats the stories my mom used to tell.
do tell at least
Oh
one.
god. So my mom used to be, well, she wasn't Protestant.
Hmm.
She just hung out with the Protestants because that was the only people my grandfather would let her hang out with. My grandfather
Hmm.
never wanted to be a Protestant because he never fucking wanted to give up 10% of his paycheck, and I don't blame him.
Hmm. Have a thought. Go ahead.
So he let the Protestant preacher take my mom out to different places. And she's like, yeah, they would speak in tongues. And it was weird. They would fall on the floor convulsing and speaking in tongues. And my God, that brings me to when I was working nights at the bank and the woman said, like, oh yeah, she just died at church. Everybody thought she had the Holy Spirit in her. I'm like, what's the fucking problem? But what happened, they all got married super young, my mom and her sisters, because they weren't Protestant, even though they did everything else, wearing the skirts below their knees, the keeping it modest, and going to the church every Sunday, Friday, Monday, like all the fucking all the days. But they got kicked out of the Protestant church because my mom and her older sister were blamed for giving sex toys to the preacher's daughter at her wedding shower.
Okay.
There are layers of what the fuck in
Yeah.
all of that. First of all, my mom knew nothing about the male anatomy at this
Hmm.
point. And second of all, my aunt, from everything I've heard, would have just straight up thrown it at her.
Have you ever experienced a Pentecostal church service?
No.
When I was a nanny, I used to be a nanny. I was a nanny for about 2.5 years between the years of 2015 and late 2015 and 2018 is when I got out of it. My first job was working for a very rich Nigerian couple. Actually, this man is the richest man in Nigeria, I do believe. At the time, he was at least richest man in Nigeria.
Mhm.
And his wife specifically wanted a nanny that was Christian. At the time, I had not dissected or deconstructed any faith. And so I was like, yeah, Christian, sure. And I just also wanted to get out of Ohio badly. And so
Mhm.
I wanted to travel. So this happened in Potomac, Maryland. So we went to Charlotte, North Carolina for New Year's. That was my first major trip with this family because I
Mhm.
was
Oh,
living with
that's
them.
awesome. Yeah.
Yes. And it was for this church service thing. And I wasn't thinking, we stayed at the Ritz Carlton and everything. It was super fancy. Now,
Ooh.
what I wasn't thinking was that I would have to go because you asked if I was Christian, not if I
Mhm.
was coming with you to service. Tell me why this woman made me come to service with her because the kids had to come as well. Pentecostal church services are hours long,
Oh
okay?
my God,
Because
yes.
they're
I've heard
hours
that.
long. Yes. The service, I think, started at like 5 p.m. and it would go until like 1 a.m. at least. And because I remember this so vividly, there was a time late into the service where they were going to lay hands on people, which again, I'm like, okay, Christianity, y'all saying y'all aren't witchy. Y'all witchy as fuck. Y'all are just different depending on the denomination. You're just different levels of witchy. Like you could be moderately witchy, you could be severely witchy, and then just like witchy. but you're just in denial. So they
Mhm.
wanted to lay hands on everybody, and the family, like the mother, because the dad was off doing whatever the fuck he was doing, because he was also cheating on her with all the maids or nannies in Nigeria. And there was a whole article written about it in the Nigerian like press that I found out about after I left. Anyway, so like
You know I'm
basically
gonna be looking that shit up later.
hilarious because the article basically said that he has a family, which is what I was working for, but he moved his wife and children to the States so basically he could do whatever the fuck he wanted in Nigeria. Hilarious. If anyone ever still envies rich people, like if that's even a thing that you do anymore, don't. Rich people's
Mhm.
lives are fucked up, including the fact that this woman told me one time that she was going out to go get her hair done. She was gone for like, I don't even kid you, like 8 hours. Tell me why she came back with a new wig. She said went to go get her hair done. She came back with a new wig. She had just switched wigs. She left out with a completely dark brown, black wig that looked all disgruntled. She came back with the same wig, but they put highlights in it. And unfortunately, I love all of my black people, but Nigerians, I'm gonna need y'all, especially my rich Nigerians, I'm gonna need y'all to do something about them wigs because we can all tell that it's a wig. Y'all are from Africa. Why can I tell that it's a wig? Why is there like an indentation, a bump between your scalp and where the wig starts? Blend that shit. Like, oh my God. Anyway, back to this church service. So the mother got up, and so she was like, all the kids, get up, get up, get up. And she told me to get up, and I'm like, for what? She was like, we're gonna go up on stage so we can, have hands like placed on us or whatever. And so I get up and I'm like about to go on stage, and I decide absolutely not. Because at first I was like, whatever, they're just laying hands on me, whatever. But then I was like, the closer that we got, I was like, oh, fuck no. Absolutely not. I don't care if I don't believe in this. I'm not having somebody put hands on me that I don't know.
Yeah.
Um,
Why
it's
would you fucking do
weird.
that?
Even if I don't believe in this, I don't trust the fact that every single person that's coming up there after they have like a hand placed on their forehead, that they're all falling out. I don't trust it. I don't trust it at all. If I have demons in me right now, let them stay with me. And I remember she was so offended that I decided to leave off stage last minute, and I was like, I don't want to do this. And she was like, what do you mean? What do you mean you don't want to do? I was like, I don't want to do this. And I think that was the beginning of the end of any sort of relationship because she and I already weren't cool. Because she wanted me to fucking on top of raising her children for her, she wanted me also to clean her 4-car garage. No,
No,
no, no.
you ain't getting paid for that.
Yeah, I was not about to have any sort of hands laid on me. But these are the
Mhm.
kinds of things that I'm just like so interested in when it comes to how different denominations in Christianity are taught, but also the effects that they have on people afterwards. Because I think a lot of people, what about the journey, kind of bringing it back to like what we've been talking about, the journey of deconstructing whatever faith that you were in before is so important. You need a little bit of breather time before you jump straight into witchcraft.
Right, because you're
Because
super fucking vulnerable at that moment.
yes. Yes. You need to be able to understand why you don't like this, you did not like that, so you understand what are you looking for in this? And
Mhm.
that is so important not to skip over. Otherwise, you're just bringing religious trauma and like dressing it up as something else and
Yeah,
operating the same way.
yeah, and that's fucked up.
Yeah.
That's, like, beyond fucked up.
You will continue to fuck yourself up even more
Mhm.
by doing that and just skipping that step.
Yeah.
But yeah, we were talking about hell houses, the ways that the church actually just kind of
Scares you into the compliance.
yes. How did your church talk to you about virginity? Because how the church basically had children trauma dumping for free is crazy, but
How did
also
your
like
church do it?
traumatizing.
Because I'm pretty certain my church didn't do it any differently. They had a bunch of teenagers come in and then just spit in a cup and talk about how, like, talk to the girls and only the fucking girls. Like, the guys were off somewhere else. I have no idea what they said to the guys.
So they did it in a couple ways, but spitting in the cup was definitely one of. And so
Mhm.
I'm wondering if this is like some sort of curriculum that they that they have.
Yeah, I think it is. I think it is.
But
'Cause
they definitely did the spitting in the cup one. Others took twigs and dirt, which is hella misogynistic, and they put it in a cup and then just spread it everywhere just to really say, "Oh, you're dirty if you have sex." But also, I remember at a summer camp that I used to go to all the time. But other than the sermon parts of it, super fun.
Mhm.
But the sermons were again for children and teenagers. It was very long sermons.
My
Um,
god. Yeah.
and they
They
would
don't
have
care.
yeah, but then there would be a time where they had kids just come up and basically spew their guts to a room full of teenagers and children that they do not know. Trauma dumping.
Mhm.
And that is so harmful because again, you don't know these people. You don't know who is going to bring up stuff. I was touched and molested by a family member and my mom didn't believe me type shit.
Mhm.
Because my thing is, okay, if you're going to have kids trauma dump things like this, what are you as a church going to do about it afterwards?
Nothing. Blame the
And
child, as
from
they
what I
always
know,
fucking did.
absolutely nothing. From my knowledge, they did nothing about it. They didn't call CPS. They didn't do any of that. It was just a full free for all of trauma dumping, which I think is
Mhm.
also very traumatizing to a child because people would
Yeah.
be up there crying on the microphone. And what do? You tell them, you know, thank you for sharing, which honestly, again, fuck y'all.
What the fuck? But we do need to talk about the wildness in our spiritual community. We have to hold them accountable too,
Mm?
because there has been issues with molestation and people doing nothing about it within our
Mhm.
own communities. And there's a whole ass, and it was so fucking nasty. I learned about this. There are two witches Bibles out there.
Mm.
And one of the witches Bibles that is out there discusses in detail how to prepare your 13-year-old daughter for losing her virginity when she's ready. Groom? Are you talking about grooming? Because that's what I'm hearing right now.
There is no preparing anybody for losing their virginity. I don't care if you're even 20. It's but
The best
specifically,
way
like,
to
to
prepare
your
kids for sex is just to say condoms and birth controls are your best friends.
don't get me started on the whole abstinence talk. I was told when I had the sex talk that if whenever I have sex for the first time, that I would be bonded to that person for forever. Thank fuck that that's not true because yeah, my sex talk was basically saying that yeah, there is a chemical oxytocin, which is a real thing,
Mhm.
would bond me to this person forever,
Yeah.
which is not scientifically accurate and nor is it true. But surprisingly, that was not an original experience. Apparently, a lot of kids were told that.
There was
Insane.
no sex talk in there was no the Catholics don't talk about sex. You get it in PSR, you get it in school. That's it.
And I do wonder how spiritual communities, because I'm not saying that all spiritual families are doing the same thing, but I do feel like a lot of spiritual community parents don't talk about it. They just opt to not
Mhm.
talk about it because it's uncomfortable. They'll just learn.
Yeah.
Like spirit
My
will
mom
guide them.
God'll tell them what to do. My mom didn't talk to me about my period. My brother was the one who gave me the period talk.
That
My
must have
6
been
Oh god. Oh god. There are some things I'll never, ever, ever get over.
well. What I will say is, guys, I hope you guys have really enjoyed me and Vanessa just ranting. This is a new format that
Mhm.
we are trying out. So we are still going to be doing tarot scopes, but just not for this episode. Did want to try a little something different. And so I hope you guys enjoyed it. More of this kind of free form kind of format. Yes, where we just kinda have talk and have a conversation, and so hopefully you guys don't miss the Terrascopes too much. They will be back. We hope you enjoyed hearing about the trauma dumping of our childhoods and growing up, and also how we feel like spiritual communities, I think, need to do better as far as balance goes, and specifically how things are handled when it comes to the journey of, I guess, if you wanna call it enlightenment. But yeah, that's all I had to say. Vanessa, you have any closing thoughts?
Uh, I will say that the state of Ohio did a pretty good job of making, unfortunately, not Catholic priests, but all other ministers mandated reporters.
Mhm,
And I will tell you that even me as a minister in Arizona, I'm a mandated reporter. If I hear something, I'm going to say something.
mhm.
And I feel like if you are being ordained, you should be able to take on the responsibility of being a mandated reporter.
Yeah.
And also to all the religions in the world.
I love that.
Organized religion. This is what I feel about you.
Alright, guys, we hope that you've enjoyed our nice little sit down together. You can find me at The Nosy Astrologer on Instagram,
Oh
YouTube,
my
and
god, I
possibly
love that
Facebook.
name.
Thank you. I will be putting out my own podcast very soon. I am still doing a couple tweaks and editing on the first episode, but that'll be out at the latest in the next 2 weeks. By the time you guys are hearing this, the first episode should already be out. So,
Yes.
so in that case, you can also find me on Spotify by the Nosy Astrologer name as well. But Vanessa, where can they find you?
They can find me at Bella Bruja, and that's pretty much everywhere. BELLABRUJA. Bella Bruja. And I don't have a cool name like Nosy Astrologer. I'm not doing a podcast right now because, God damn it, I have a teenager. But I am available for readings and spiritual counseling. Remember, I'm a mandated reporter. If you tell me some fucked up shit, I'm going to have to tell the cops.
Because we're not doing that whole love and light thing over here.
No,
We do
hell
believe in
fucking
calling
no.
the police. Like, all
Love
right,
and light your
guys.
ass to jail.
Yes. All right, guys. See you later.
Later. Bye.
Me and my ancestors came together in that moment. Freaking kids, stay out of my yard.
Nice man wants to give you candy, let him. There is somebody
And
in my freezer right now. I hope you're watching too because I'm doing this.